and to talk to one another. And then the next week, Tim was talking about, how we can take hurt and go into hope and how we can help people. And this week, we're kind of going to stay a little bit right there. Because I want to give you guys maybe a little bit more practical view on how you can help others around you. So I want us to do this for a sec. We kind of talked about our hurt and what's inside of us. I want you to think about, who do you know who is hurting? I want you to just take a couple minutes. Think about, who do you know? This can be a friend. This can be a sibling. This can be a family member. This can be someone that maybe you don't even really know them, but you just know that they're hurting. So I want you to think about that. At least get 1 to 2, maybe even more images in your head. Just think about it for a sec. I want to make sure we all kind of get a picture. And I don't know if I don't know what these people are hurting about. And maybe you don't even know the depth of what these people are hurting about, but you obviously know that they're hurting enough that they came to your mind. And so as we talk tonight, I want you to keep them right there. I want you to keep them on your mind. I think it's very important. And so, but I want you guys to share a little bit, because obviously you can tell that they're hurting. And what are some signs that you think that you see in people to kind of distinguish that they're hurting? Just kind of shout them out.
They always look like sad. They don't smile as much.
Sad, don't smile. Okay.
They don't talk.
They don't talk. Okay.
They somewhat walk slower.
Walk slower. More lethargic, maybe. What?
They can get angry or try and play it off, like try and talk out of it.
Okay, like short temper, or like try and not put attention on themselves, that kind of thing. Okay.
They're like standoffish, like they don't want to talk to anyone or do anything.
Okay, maybe a little isolation going on. Okay. You're gonna say that one? Okay. Bryce?
I'll go Bryce then. Like if something negative comes up in a conversation, they'll try and change the subject.
Okay. So try and make life all about sunshine and flowers and okay.
Well, if they're walking through the hall, they'll probably act as if everything's gonna hurt them in some way.
Okay, a little dodgy.
Like get out of people's way and like
Okay.
they're
Apprehensive maybe. Okay.
see people like sometimes like trying to find like their own little area and they like cry and they think that nobody can see them, but some people can.
Okay, so go off alone and try
Go off alone.
and just cry and deal with whatever's going on. Okay. McKenna, then Zach.
They don't want to leave their house.
They don't want to leave their house. Okay. Again, kind of the isolation. Yeah.
A lot of times they'll kind of try to play it off by being overly the opposite. Try to be overly happy and try to deflect the fact that they're really hurt inside. They'll try to make the focus on them so no one thinks about how.
Exactly. And that's kind of the interesting one, right? The rest we're talking about sad and kind of acting like, oh, something's gonna happen at any moment. And the one where we try and go the opposite direction is interesting. But I think it makes perfect sense. And some of you guys touched that one. And see, when we try and avoid it, when we try and act like everything's fine, it's interesting because it would kind of go with the idea that we think that we're in it all alone and no one cares. And it's a sad reality that I think some of us, some of us maybe don't even realize that most of the time there are people out there that are hurting so deeply and really no one does care that is around them, or no one has shown them that they care. Maybe they weren't given the opportunity, whatever the circumstance, but there's a lot of situations where people are that. So people just believe that no one cares. And that's kind of part of what with this series we kind of want to turn around a little bit. Because see, we've already established that there's different levels of hurt, and each of us have kind of reckoned with a different level, a different type of it. But all of us in this room have hurt to some degree. All of us in this room have had something in our life that has become a painful experience. And so I want to kind of talk about how we can then help each other. How we can then realize that, see, our job in this room as we talk about it, this being refuge, being a safe place, being a place where people can come in, as we say, from the chaos and craziness of life, and learn about what God can do in their life, and learn about the relationships they can have with other people their age that are not destructive, that do not tear them down, that do not rip them apart. They can understand they can have meaningful relationships both with people here and with God. And see, with that comes this responsibility of everybody in this room, that we're not only just being nice to people, being friendly to people, trying to make sure everybody at least gets a hello, but it's this sense that we actually deeply care for one another. And I'm not saying every person in this room, you need to have them be your BFF forever, as some of you I know have said before. Think about it. Best friend forever. There you go. No. I know, nobody's a BFF, but some people say BFF forever. And it's
Wouldn't it be BFFF?
BFFF, yes.
Unless it's best friends for forever.
Best friends forever.
That's the best
You're
ones
trying to
for-
make sense out of
I'm
something
trying to
that
help.
shouldn't make sense.
I feel bad for the kids. It's all about the children.
Anyways, okay, so and with that, there's two types of ways that a lot of times we kind of categorize this. And who has their Bibles tonight? If you go grab it, go grab it right now. I need someone to look up Galatians 6:2. What?
He said shoot. Said shoot.
I heard him say shit.
Good. Someone look up Galatians 6:2, and I need someone else to look up James 1:27. Let me get a volunteer for both. You're gonna look up James? Oh. Cheyenne's got James.
Who?
Cheyenne.
Yeah.
Right before you. You wanna go to Galatians?
What was Galatians?
I was literally like, yeah, James.
I know, she
I'm in
spoke up. So.
Galatians.
You're in Galatians? Okay. What?
Never mind, I don't got it.
You don't got it. Never mind.
'Cause I can't
Nick,
see.
you got James.
Okay.
What was it?
Galatians 6:2.
I can't see. Point.
You got it? Okay, everybody listen up to Lauren.
Okay. Carry one another's burdens. In this way you will fulfill the law of Christ.
Okay, pretty basic statement. I'm sure most of you have heard it. Carry one another's burdens. And see, carry one another's burdens. There I can actually speak. And it's this kind of one is one that most of us have probably heard talked about, where it's kind of the helping and taking care of, right here. Taking care of, I guess if you want to use the term fellow Christians, if you want to refer to brothers and sisters in Christ, if you want to refer to as church family, however you define that. It's this idea that each of us that have this sense of camaraderie in belief in our brothers and sisters in Christ, that we are taking care of one another. And not that people outside are any less. It's actually a deep importance of outreach and reaching out and being with those that don't know Christ yet. But there's this first step that needs to be taken. And see, when we carry one another's burdens, when in this room we care about the stuff and junk in each other's life, then that means that we are actually a community of people that love one another. It's kind of a crazy concept, yeah?
Yeah.
Can we keep Bibles to each other? Okay. And
What was it,
James 1:27.
1:27.
And so, see, we create this environment that, see, someone's going to walk in this room and going to look and go, you guys are all Christians, whether you are or not. That's what they're going to say. And if they walk in and they see this room of people that kind of go, oh, who are you? Like, if new people that walked into this room, we just treated them like, why are you coming into our group? Then what are they going to do? Leave, walk away, never come back, run out screaming, I don't know. Maybe because Nick was at the door, he's like, hey! And they're like, oh gosh.
Grab the pants and left.
Yeah. I know
How many
might.
sheets did they use?
It's me. But anyways, so But they want, if they experience this group of people that actually love each other, it's more than just the fact that they're like, okay, I feel accepted. It kind of gives you this rite of passage. They actually believe the words that are coming out of your mouth, right? And so with that, we're called to carry one another's burdens, not because it's a law, not because it's an order, not because it's a rule, but because it's the only way that being a Christian, being a Christ follower, makes sense. And so that's where this whole taking care of each other's hurt begins. And that's why we've been asking you guys to be praying for one another, be talking to one another about what's going on in each other's lives, doing prayer requests, giving time at the end, and we're going to do it again this week, and giving that time for you guys to go around and really talk about it. But see, there's the other part, and there's the other side of this. There's kind of, it's not a them or us and them mentality, but it kind of starts with us here. It's kind of like with your family. If you can't take care of your family, why are you going around trying to help everybody else? You can't first provide for your family. If I can't provide for Vicky and I, why am I going to go around everywhere else trying to, help everybody else if I can't take care of my family? And so that's kind of concept, is that we move out. And we need to move out as Christians. We need to move out as people that are trying to follow the ways of Christ and follow in his footsteps. And with that, we need to do exactly kind of what James 1:27 is talking about. And I think this applies to you guys in a lot more ways than just says here. It's kind of, there's, what's it called? There's an idea of more going on in this verse. So go ahead and read it.
Yeah, I'll try to read.
Go.
Religion that God, our Father, accepts as pure and faultless is this: to look after orphans and widows in their distress, and keep oneself from being halted by the world.
Okay, so I want to focus on that part in the orphans and widows. I want you to think about orphans and widows. Maybe it's an image that you get from a particular movie. Maybe it's someone you know. Maybe it's a cartoon character. I don't know. I don't know when I say the words orphan and widows what comes to mind. But in most cases, why is he asking to take care of orphan and widows? Like, what do you think he's trying to say?
To become someone like, well, because when you're an orphan or a widow, you don't have anyone to love on you. So to become that person.
To love on them?
Yeah.
Yeah, because most likely, right? In the case of a widow, they've lost what? Their husband or wife. Yeah. I guess
It's a widower.
It's a widower. Yeah. Hey, I'll take English. Anyways, I only speak it every once in a while. Okay, say a widow, and then orphan. What's happened to an orphan?
They lost their parents.
Lost their parents. Do you think they might be hurting? Do you think they might have needs? Do you think they might be broken? Okay. And so in a 21st century Norco, Eastvale, Corona sense, couldn't we say that this verse is talking about taking care of those who are hurt and needy? Yes?
Yes.
We're not too sure about that one. See, because maybe you guys don't know a widow. Maybe you do. Maybe you guys don't know an orphan. Maybe you do. Maybe you know someone that was adopted. Maybe you know someone that's from a divorced home. Maybe you know somebody, maybe you do know somebody that has parents. One of their parents passed away and they're going through that loss. I don't know, but with that, there's also all sorts of other types of hurting people. And I believe that what is being said in this verse in James, because James is a lot about don't just be hearers of the word, but be doers. And he's saying, don't sit here and just say, oh, we all like each other here, but get out into the world. And I believe it's a matter of saying that we have all been broken. We have all been in a place where we need God's ability to kind of put the pieces back together because we can't do it on our own. And so he's saying, go be the image of Christ to someone else. Go be that image to someone. And so in order to do that, I kind of want to go back and I want to look at a passage